Also ich höre es mal. Okay, now we switch to English because Kev is here. Hi, Kev. Good to see you, man. Um, so I prepared this little document, so I will write this down, everything. So, and I also will share this with you later after the call, so you have everything that we talked about. I will share the video as well, so you can rewatch this as many times as you want. What's the name of this stream? In the end is noise. Okay. So my first, but do you still see my screen?
Yeah.
What I'm writing?
Yeah, we
Yes.
do, we do.
Okay, awesome. So I will give some feedback and I will ask also all your other guys to give some input. So generally, I really like the track because it has its own certain style. It's very, like, in my opinion, a unique style. It's not something that I hear very often. This kind of like little bit of bit crushed, has some 80s vibes, but it's also modern through the drums that you use and all that. So all overall, it's very it's building very nicely, and there's not a point in the track where I'm thinking, okay, now it's getting boring. It's like it's building and there's new stuff coming in, and there's never really yeah, it's just very well built track. So this is my general first impression of this track. The mix, in my opinion, sounds fine. It's there's always a little bit that we can improve. Of course, there is. I feel like it's always in the mid range between the 300 and maybe 800 range hertz. There's always like a little bit of a mumble muffle thing going on, but this is an easy fix with just an EQ, maybe even on the sum on the master just to take this out a little bit. It's just something they have to listen to make it shine a little bit more. And that this all this noise and crushing and little distortion, this is meant to be, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, this is part of the style or the genre, I would suppose. So
Yeah,
that's totally fine.
I was I guess I was a bit targeting towards indie developers
It totally
games.
fits the bill. Yeah.
Uh,
100%. Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is what I'm gonna say in the end to this track. I mean, this is if you had like a couple of these and find the right companies that actually build games that have this like vibe, I mean, why should they either license the track or have you compose some more? Mastering is the same thing. It's probably the EQ stuff. I cannot really look into the mix that much but I like the mix. It's because there's nothing that stood out to me, which is always a good sign. And then in the master, this is probably more where the EQ comes in, just to polish it a little bit more, give it a little bit more balance in the mids. And I think that the lows are fine. You can play with the highs a little bit, but in the end, it sounds as it's supposed to sound. I mean, you could always try some things, but I think that's totally cool. Yeah, and what I would do with this track, I mean, and this is where we also went over with Jonas on our call. Now, if you wanted to, I mean, get clients, you would have to, if this is the kind of genre you would like to do, and if this is something that you have joy producing, you would need to go out there and find companies that actually would like this kind of stuff. This could work in production music probably, but it's pretty unique. So it's probably getting a placement here and there and not that often. I would target with this kind of music retro games, like futuristic games, even I don't know. It could even be something like I don't know. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know how what it all means, but like something a Super Mario kind of vibe things. I don't know if they do something like this anymore, but
I think it could easily fit into like a pause scene where maybe you pause the game and then there's like music playing in the background, while
right,
some scene just playing around.
exactly. And you could even do like different versions of this track, like more an ambient version and more like a um more straightforward, the full version, of course, and then more like only the synth or something. This is then what Kevin says, that you can fit in different areas of the game even. Could be a theme, could be the main theme. So yeah,
yeah,
there's
it's
not
cool
much.
that the mix is okay because I think it's often hard to judge by yourself.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest to judge because we're mostly harsh with ourselves. We're not very gentle with our self-judgment most of the time. So yeah, I think I mean, is there anything more input from you guys? Have you said something already? Jonas, do you have something?
I could imagine that it even works in some games like FIFA. So in the menu, have lots of soundtracks which are playing in full length. So it would be very prominent when you are in manager mode or something like that. I think they have many soundtracks for the menu, around 20 per game. So maybe if we have much luck, you can place it there.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
nice.
I mean, this is something that I'm definitely going to do. Is like a masterclass over a couple of weeks to actually show you what the exact steps you should take with everything that you need basically to get the gig. And this is going to be free inside the community, just live calls with you guys. And because music, it's all nice and fine, but it doesn't make sense if it's 7 years on SoundCloud and no one notices. with this one.
Yeah.
It's a shame actually that it's not used anywhere, I feel. Unless you
Sounds
just
like
want to do
it.
it for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Just filling this out really quick, so don't forget. I will flash this out a little later. If you could write, it would be great. Okay.
I mean, what I noticed myself is maybe the arpeggiated melody. I could have muted it maybe at some points because it goes from the beginning to the end. And
Definitely.
now that I heard it again, so it had some length. I don't know.
It's good if there's some break between creating a track, producing it, and then just let it live for a while, and then come back to it, and then you have some. But no, not overthink it, and just do some things. And it's not a track is never finished. That's the problem. We have to make the conscious decision to say it's done. Some pauses for the arpeggio. I put this in here. Oh wow. So here we go. Yeah. Did you say Jonas Fever is the name of the game?
FIFA.
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 Yes.
Soccer.
Yeah.
Yes, football.
Football.
The Americans are very unique, particular. It's not football, it's soccer. So it's not the same thing here. And then we had like some menu music and different versions. Exactly. Yeah, cool. Do you have any other like particular questions for this, Clemens?
Yeah. If I would use it for production music, what would I have to change, or what would be needed from it? Like
So if you would do production music with it, you would definitely need, I would say in this particular case, with this kind of track, you would probably need like the full version as it is right now. Like implement these little changes if you can, and then have a reduced version, which is basically, what could you leave out? Probably the drums you would leave out. And as you said, you would probably pause the synth, the arpeggio from time to time. And then I would definitely for this track have also an ambient version. So basically give the editor more possibilities to use it. Basically make out of one track, make three.
Okay.
Sometimes they could use the full version, but it's not likely that they will because it's very has a very strong voice. But if you have like an ambient version, just the arpeggio, for example, and the little pads that are in there, and then a reduced version, I think that could work well. But for that, I would prefer if you would do a couple of other tracks in the same arena, like the same genre, and do the same thing with them, and then find companies and send it to them. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think I made like 4 or 5 in this
okay, cool.
genre, like
that's awesome.
Back then.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, this is probably a work, like a day's work to get this all ready. And then stems, of course, you have like, depends on the publisher, but they will ask probably for stems, like the groups of drums and pads and synth and bass and whatever is in there. And just all the tracks in these groups combined. And yeah, like 4 or 5 hours, and then you would have like, I don't know, 6 tracks, as you said, ready to pitch to publishers. And this could work well.
And it's enough, like 5, 6 tracks.
Yeah, for now. Yeah, you just want an in with them, and then if they like it, they will come back anyway and ask for more. Even the that kind of music or other music, they give you briefs or like possibilities to pitch and stuff. Yeah. And you can always provide more. I mean, these companies always need music every day of the year because they have so much. The more music they have, the more revenue they make. So it was like more music. Yeah. Production music. Did I put this somewhere? Production music. Full reduced ambient stems 6 total. Okay. Yep. Anything else about this track? Anyone? No.
Thank you.
Of course. Then we look at. Did you have a track that you wanted to share? Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I actually put a link in the comment section. But
oh, I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's late. I just added it, you know.
Just now. Okay, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
I will include this for sure. Let me get this very quick. Cool. So then we do Jonas first, and then put you here. Okay. Cool. Okay, Jonas. Power plant. Let's go. Can you still hear that? Yeah. So generally, I like the track very much. It's well produced. I think what I like about it, it keeps the same emotion or the same style throughout. So there's not a change in like I heard so many tracks that like go from a sad piano to a uplifting happy string part, which doesn't really fit like for it's hard for people to understand why. I mean, it works in a media setting. It works if you do it for a film or a video game where it needs to be like a cinematic or whatever. But for like a track to stand on its own, I think it's much better to this. So well done on that one. I would try for this track. So the first thing that I think is have some breaks in there. So this like synth line, you change it in like the filter setting for the synth, but it basically goes through all the way. So this you could change that and just in general give the whole track a little variety. You could leave the drums out or change the drums up a little bit. You could what I'm missing is like whenever a part's ending, it's like a little symbol or like some kind of whoosh or some effect, something that helps to bridge this gap between one part of the track to the other. And this goes, I mean, the thing is, the track works. So let's talk about what it could work for. I mean, this could be perfect for a game where you need a long scene because it's like a chase or it's like I don't know how if there's like 3-minute chases in games. I have no idea, but um, um, it has enough variety. So if you had like this, it would work well for a specific scene. But I think giving it more variety even changing things up, I would start with leaving things out before adding stuff. Like let's stop the drums for like 8 bars or whatever, or just have the hi-hat play for 8 bars and then leave like take the synth melody out for a couple of bars and just play around with that. So and it should still be organic in how it comes in and out, but the general just think about if you listen to it, at what point have you heard it enough, and then just cut it at that point and then come back a while later. There's a little bit of a gut feeling that you have to develop, I think. But that's not hard to do, and it's an easy like fix because in general it sounds great. There's nothing. I think in the mix, I don't hear anything that I would change. You could push the drums maybe a little bit, and I'm not sure if there's a bass in there. I'm not sure. I have to let me listen to it again. There's a bass. Cool. Yeah. Maybe just since it's a very driving track, push the bass and the drums a little bit more, but not in terms of louder, like just dynamic wise. Give it like a little bit compression so it stands out in the mix a little bit more. And then in general, is this mastered already?
Yes.
Yes.
A little.
And how did you master it? On your own or some tool?
Yes, on my own. So I made the dynamics to the loudness is to make a perfect sound on Spotify. So it's about -40 loudness units.
Okay. I understand. So they have some specific rules around that on SoundCloud?
I think it's similar to YouTube. It's the loudness, they put it automatically. So if you make it less dynamic, they make it more silent overall, so that it doesn't sound louder than other tracks.
I see. Understand. Makes sense. I mean, compression shouldn't increase, like it doesn't have to increase the loudness units. It can be just if you compress it, it sounds louder, but it isn't actually. So yeah, try that. Just a hint. It doesn't have to be too much. And then probably also there's like the bass, since this is why I think I didn't hear the bass in the beginning, that like it did, because I didn't concentrate on that. It's also like take care of like the envelopes of the the different instruments. So let the bass have its own room in the mix, and then the synth as well. So cut the synth a little bit at the low end, so the bass has more room, and also the kick drum has room. And then what else is there? Yeah, but in general, it sounds really clean. So I think this track cries for a break and then coming back in, just right in the middle somewhere. Just have the synth like cut it completely with a loud boom or whatever, like a little reverb, and then have the can be right like like 2/3 in or something. Have just the synth come back with a filter, and then yeah, come back fully. Just give it a
So
little.
it's generally about adding calmer parts to the track.
I would say yeah, reducing it here and there a little bit, and maybe adding some in the mastering, like give it a little bit more a polish. Yeah, that's the general thing. But it's not. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you leave it like this. It doesn't matter. It's just my opinion, and it's also like a taste thing if you want it this way.
Yeah, but I think it's important to always have different opinions.
Yeah,
because there are different use cases, and
yeah,
it's not the best thing if I like it, but other people have things that they would change. So I
right.
always should hear different opinions, and then that influence my music a little.
Exactly. I mean, then also, this is what I would like to ask you. What did you have in mind when you wrote this track?
I think I want to make a high energetic track, so kind a bit like the Root Sandstorm style. So
Yeah.
building up slowly and then always increasing energy.
Right, I understand. Yeah, I mean, you could actually go into this a little more, and build even more. And in Sandstorm, in this track specifically, I know this very well because this was the time when I was going out and had time to be in a club. When it came out, this is like always down, down, like all the time, right? So you could actually play with that a little more, I would say. This is this is what I heard as well. So I think this is something that you should do. Just like all the fade in and the filtering and all that, go crazy with it a little more. This could use a little crazy, this track, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Let me write this very quick so I don't forget. Polish. Let's bass. I mean, with this kind of like dance, kind of EDM kind of style music, the bass and the drums are very important. So I would really like fine tune these and then put the rest on top of it. And I think what you could do to make it sound a little bit bigger is like give the synth some either a reverb or a little bit of a delay, like a just to have it like a stereo delay to have look so it sounds wider. There's also a plugin I think that's free. It's I think it's called Wider, and this is actually a cool plugin. See if I can find it real quick. Nice. Yeah, infected mushroom. This would do the trick. I think it's free. Yeah, stereo widening. This is how, try that out. Do you have that plugin?
Not yet. I'm
Yeah, you can download it. I think
now.
this is a don't overuse it, but if you use it for certain things, it sounds really, really cool. And did you have some specific like client in mind when you wrote this, or is this just for you for fun?
It was more produced for fun.
But you know, it's the same as for Clemens. I think this track could work well in games for sure. This could also work in production music for certain like themes. I mean, it's called power plant. This could be some explainer for how a power plant works. For sure, it would work. Like if you see all the steam and all that stuff coming out, and it's the same thing. I mean, I would have you. Do you have more these kinds of like driving EDM kind of style tracks or not?
It's close to the style I usually do,
Okay.
but it's not exactly the same. So it's always a bit different. But
Yeah,
it's mostly these little wobbling basses and these synth patterns, which are really dominant. So yeah, that's usually my style.
So you could package it together in like in an AP or an album or whatever, like a certain playlist or whatever.
Yes, I think so. I could produce similar things so that it gives yeah, I think so.
That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, I mean games. I would definitely go for games with this and production music. You have to find the right publisher. I will teach you all that stuff. But if I were you, I would just go ahead and find some people that you could actually send this to. It will not be too long when we start the course or the masterclass, but yeah. Yeah, cool. Have any questions, Jonas, for me? Any other input from you guys?
Yeah, I also totally get the games vibes. I also had like if you watch esports events and they have like if they have some short breaks in between, like having music for that, or if the game is done and then they switch over, and you could imagine the music on in this. Yeah, and I would totally say the same as Sebastian. Like the mix is, I didn't feel like anything is standing out to me, and also that you have a little bit more transitions, but that's I think what Sebastian already said. But overall, it's a really cool vibe, I think.
Hey, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, Kev. Or do you have any more questions, Jonas? Any specifically?
I just think I don't know, my camera is having issues. I don't know what it went off.
It's okay. We can hear you fine.
I think it's a really great track. I mean, it had my head bouncing and all of that. So yeah, I think it's yeah, it creates a nice feeling, the feeling of wanting to dance and move the body. So yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. So Jonas, last questions from you, if there are any.
No, it's more a specific thing, but I think it's not the place because I'm thinking it's a very specific style, so it's a bit hard to find a particular game where it fits in, I think. So if you are doing a strategy RPG game, for example, it's maybe not the perfect match.
I mean, it's a little bit the same as for Clemens. I think it's more like something where I'm not sure what they're called, like where they run all the time. You have to find things and jump on things and kill things, like more like a not like super realistic game, but I don't know how like Super Mario is always my go-to because this is the only thing I know from Game Boy back then. But something like this where you see them from the side and they run and run and run, and I think this would work well. Like Mario gets the big mushroom and or whatever and grows and then has to go faster, something like this. I think would work well.
Yeah, I get what you mean. So you have also a dynamic or a speed in the movement in a game, so it covers that. Yes.
Right. And in the end, I mean, it doesn't matter what you think where it fits. In the end, the game company or the producer of the game is saying if it fits or not. So before you rather sit and don't know where to send it to, I would rather send it to someone and see what they say. And if it's specific, maybe they need something specific. Honestly, you never know what they would need. And if you have a company you would like to work with, we talked about this in our call. If you like what they do and you can actually honestly give them like a praise report, or you like some of their games, or you played some of their games and like the music, just send it to them. And it's not the end of the world if they say no. And most of them, if you give them some like compliment in the beginning, they will always be nice. So I would, if you have an idea where to send it to them and write a nice email about them and not about you. And then this, just to get a little bit of an opinion and get your feelers out, basically, right?
I think in general, I don't have much to lose and much to
exactly.
win. So.
Exactly. None of us have, and it's just an email, and it's and the more you write, the easier it gets, and the more you get rejected, the easier it gets. It's just part of the game. And rejection is always it's never never. It's just not right now. So don't worry about it too much. Now we go on to Kev. Wandering Piece. Cool. I just uploaded it. Cool. Muted. Love this track. Yeah. So what I like about this is you hear the first like couple of notes and you're already, I mean, I'm in space with this one. I don't know where you all went, but stars, planets, like wonder. Yeah, it's really that's a track that actually helps me imagine things, which is always cool. I like if the music in itself has a story built in, which is really, really cool. I love that. With that said, I mean, production-wise, I think it's pretty close. It sounds really cool. I personally would add some things just because where it took me. When I hear space and stuff like that, I would always add some kind of synth stuff. And also, since it's 3 minutes 40 long, I would like, as with Jonas, I would definitely have some breaks in there. You have a break here. Now here. Yeah. There's something in the background. If this is I don't know if this is a synth or a pad or something, I would just leave the piano out at this part completely. And then later come in again. And I even would add some arpeggiated synths into this and some like larger pads that elevate the track even more. But this is my personal opinion. I'm not sure if this resonates with you.
It does. It does.
Mhm. Because the idea of this build from here 134 to the end is great, but it has to build stronger if you want to keep it at this length. Otherwise, I would cut it a little bit because in the end, these like this last I don't know how long is this? Almost minute, the last minute, you could probably cut in half because there's nothing changing really anymore. And you can drive it and drive it and drive it and even like have a long riser in the background that just goes to the end. And the end, I would make really particular. There's nothing, this doesn't happen in this track. This is like, now come on.
The fade out. The fade out.
Yeah, I would do any fade out. There's like nothing back, like there's nothing like that. And yeah. It inspires me to think about what else could we add, because this has I think it's not quite at the potential it has. So there's more you could do with this track.
Yeah, I actually wasn't done. But I felt like I needed feedback on this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was the last minute, I put it in last minute. But I definitely appreciate the feedback I'm getting because I wanted to see how I could make it better. And
Yeah,
you've really given me a lot of insight.
So I think this would be, because it has such a nice emotion in it, like this little like longing and like the wonder, both of like this little sadness, but also like the hope. So that it's like it has all these things mixed into it. And if you give it a little more substance, the track, then this would like, yeah, could be a really amazing track. And just I would love to see the build from here to the end, like really build, and start really low here. Yeah, just this pad in the background is great. Just nothing else, and then build on top of that. And even some like staccato strings or spiccato strings, like fast ones that could come in later. Let me see if I can find a track that I can show you very quick. Where we did this something similar. Do I have a somewhere? Here. I have to stop sharing, I think, for a minute and then do share again. stop share. And then I will share again. Not this. I don't want to share this. I want to share something else. Yeah. 1 second. Come on. How bad? How hard can it be? Here we go. This one, the sound share. No, this is the wrong one. Haha. Why is it? I thought this is the right one. Okay. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Do you hear the strings in the background? Something like this, you know. It reminds me very much of this track somehow. Something like this, you know, these fast strings, and just, I mean, this builds until the end. So another break, and then, I don't know. Choir and everything. I don't know if you have to go this far, but do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I totally do. I totally do. To
Okay,
drive
cool.
the track.
Yes, drive it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that. Yeah. So let me write this down real quick for you. So, and did you have anything specific in mind?
Okay, so actually I was trying to make emotional, like orchestral tracks, just emotional stuff. But then when I chose this particular progression and started working on it, I found that it didn't really fit with what I was going for. It started to take me towards exactly what you were describing, you know, wandering, and, you know, I was trying to make something emotional, sad, and melodic in a way, but, you know, this kind of reminds me of a documentary that just tries to spark the imagination and all of that. Yeah. So that was
cool.
it.
That's awesome. So no specific project or anything, just a track that
Okay,
might
so
fit for something.
Yeah, I was making it for a project, but now I don't feel like it fits into that project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see my screen anymore. Okay, I'm writing. Build, master to be in. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's yeah, I mean, as you said, it's not finished, and you kind of can hear that, but it doesn't matter. It has the potential to be like a huge track. So I would build it in a huge way, but I'm always doing that. So What are your thoughts, guys? Your other thoughts?
Yeah, would say also really like it. Also had some meditating experience while listening to it. But yeah, it's but at some point I think I tripped out, like, because it was a bit too repetitive then in the end. So, but I really liked it. I could imagine some some solo cello or something like that. And
Yeah,
maybe
thank
some.
you. I will work on that.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. But
Thank you. I would work on that. Just like he said, I would try to add some like staccato, pizzicatos, and all of that, like strings, fast strings towards the end.
Jonas, do you have anything, Jonas?
I think it reminds me a little on a fantasy world, so like a mystic forest, something like that. So I could also imagine like some ambient synthes giving it another touch, but I think it's not exactly the way you want to go with it.
I mean, this could work both ways. You could even tone it down and make it more ambient, as you said, Jonas, or you can build it up to kind of a trailer track if you wanted to, like a really like massive dynamic track. But it also could be both. Yeah, right. You build it up and then you have an ambient version for that as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you all.
Thank you, man. Thank you for all of you showing up and like bringing your tracks. It's not an easy thing to do. At least for me, it wasn't for a long time to show tracks and get some feedback. That's brave, and that's really cool that you do that. And but through that we can all grow. I think that's really important. If you would comment on this track feedback post in the community, if what you thought about it, so we can have like maybe more of these track feedback sessions. If this is something that you enjoyed, I would love to hear that in the community, so other people can also see that. Yeah, and I will, as soon as the recording is ready, I will send it over to you guys. I will put it in the classroom. You can revisit it, and then also the little document I will put there as well that I put together. Yeah, any more questions for now? Nope. Good. Great. Everything is answered. All the questions have been answered. I'm happy. Then, yeah, to all of you, most of you, what time is it at your place, Kevin? It's also night, right?
It's
6.
6 p.m. currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost the same as in Germany. Cool. Yeah, have a good night, everyone, and thank you for showing up and being here with me, and hope this was helpful. And we will, yeah, I see you in the group.
All right. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
danke.